usually have to pop up on something. Got it. Perfect. All right, team. Let's get going. We'll get our movement in right away. Now, just quick reminders, have a quick look around you. Make sure you have a nice clear space to move around in. You're not stepping or tripping over anything. Make sure you're in either bare feet or sturdy shoes. And just remember, if you are exercising on a rug or carpet, that it can either be a bit slippery, or if it's thick, that's going to impact your balance because it's almost like walking on sand. So just be aware of that. Anytime today you need to lower your heart rate, get your breathing back under control, I want you to go into your recovery breathing. So let's all take a couple recovery breaths together to start off our warm-up. So let's start hands on your belly. And then nice and slow, we are going to inhale as we pull our hands out. And then exhale through pursed lips to bring your hands back in. Okay, the slower the better. So inhale. And then exhale. Inhale, pull apart the hands. Exhale through pursed lips. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Perfect. Now let's start moving our hand in a circle and our opposite foot in a circle. You don't have to hold your leg up. I just don't have the best camera today because I'm on a different computer because mine was not working. So you might not see my feet a whole lot today. And boy, that's something I never thought I would say to someone. So let's make sure we're alternating hand and foot. Make a circle and then switch. Make a circle and then switch. Circle, switch. Once again, you don't have to hold up your foot. I'll just lift mine up nice and high so you can see what we're doing. Have a nice look at my toes. I think next time I paint them a nice color or something. That's like one of my classes. We were doing a stretch at the end, and we were doing the stretch where you stretch out that foot and reach to your toes. And he goes, my goodness, I need to clip my toenails. So you get to learn something every class, even if it's just about yourself. All right, gang. Perfect. Now from there, I want you just moving one elbow forward, so making a big circle. Good, and I want you to try to get your upper back involved if you can, so we'll get everything moving slightly. Now, as you do that, gang, I'm gonna get you to reach forward your toes and then bring them back. So you're stretching your leg out in front of you, touching your toes, and then bring that foot back. Yep, we moved on to the brain stuff really early on today.
Yeah.
Ready for this.
You are welcome. Nothing gets you more warm and ready to go than a little bit of confusion. All right, rotate those elbows backwards. We're still reaching out our toes 1 foot at a time. There we go. And actually, this is a good time for a reminder. Based on your energy and breathing on a day-to-day, I want to remind you of some things that increase your body's need for oxygen. So the more oxygen that is required, the harder it's going to be for you to do, which is great on days that you have good energy and your breathing isn't a struggle, but it's not great on days where your breathing is a struggle. So ways you can adjust your need for oxygen. Shake out your arms, keep pointing your toes. The more limbs you move at one time, the more oxygen you need, the more quickly you move, and the more range of motion. So range of motion means if I reach my hand all the way overhead versus up halfway, that's going to require more oxygen than halfway. Okay, so some things to do to adjust an exercise. Let's now stretch our leg forwards, touching our heel in front of us. And I really want you pulling your toes back towards you. So stretch out that heel, pull your toes back, and then bring that foot back. Touch your heel and back. Touch your heel and back. And when I say touch your heel and pull your foot towards you, your foot should look like this. All right, so touch that heel in front of you and back. There we go. Now you can either stretch one arm out in front of you with your opposite foot, or if you're feeling energetic, let's get both hands moving forward at a time. So again, we're pulling those toes towards us. That's flexing our foot. There we go. All right, are we ready to make it more complicated?
No.
No! Let's go right arm, left arm, left arm, right arm, right arm, left arm, left arm. And if you're getting your feet moving at the same time, you'll notice I keep alternating legs. It's just my arms that go twice before switching. How fun.
Now you got us all confused.
Yeah. Great work.
Getting your brain working, especially with movement, is so good for you, I promise. The only reason I'd make you do that. There we go. Left arm, right arm, right arm, left arm, left arm, right arm, right arm. Remember, everyone's going at their own pace. Some of you are going to be moving a little bit slower than me. Some of you are going to be moving a bit faster than me. This is your workout. You need to do what feels good for your body. Remember, challenging yet doable is our motto. And rest there. Brilliant, team. So now let's slide our leg out wide and then bring it back and then switch legs. Slide out wide, bring it back. Slide out wide, bring it back. Here we go. Slide that leg out and back. Slide your leg out and back. Slide out and back. Slide out and back. Brilliant. Keep up your breathing. So breathing in through the nose, out through pursed lips. Now, if you're feeling great, let's also reach across our body. So if my left leg opens up, my left arm reaches across and then bring it back in. My right leg goes out wide, my right arm reaches and bring it back in. Now remember, we want to think about tightening through our bellies. That's called keeping our core tight. And having a strong core helps you move better, helps you keep your balance. Keep up your breathing pattern, gang. We're either not breathing or a lot of you are on mute. One or the other. Or you're getting fitter and fitter and this isn't challenging anymore.
Oh, yes. It is.
Oh. There we go, gang.
Jill, I'll see you on
Yes.
Thursday. It's necessary that I leave now, but thank you for today.
Oh, of course. You have a wonderful day.
I'll try. Bye.
Hi.
Bye now. And rest, gang. All right. So now I'm going to get you lifting up one arm at a time and lifting up your opposite knee. So remember, you can be seated or standing, whatever feels best for you. And the most important part about strengthening your lungs is getting into that breathing pattern, breathing out through pursed lips. Especially if you have COPD, that helps get that excess air out of your lungs so that there's more room for fresh oxygenated air to come on in. All right, so keep your feet marching that 1, 2, 1, 2, but now your arms, one is going up, one is going straight out.
My God.
Oh, man, my.
So to start, so at first, just get one arm moving up. This is how we break it down, right? So one arm's moving up. Okay, and now as my arm pushes up, push the other out. So again, it's that skill of kind of splitting your attention in two. This is like multitasking. The ability to cognitively keep going, keep thinking while your body moves. It's about being able to keep focused on your physical task, even when there's a cognitive disruption. So another example of that is if you're walking and you're focused on getting somewhere and someone calls your name and you turn. Well, my 92-year-old last week had a bit of a fall and she's okay. She's tough. She just had a little bruise on her arm. That was it. But that's what happened when she wasn't focused on her walking, but she kept walking and turned and her feet got mixed up. So this is why I get you guys doing all sorts of stuff. Switch what your arms are doing. So that's why I get you guys all moving. And you have to really split your attention into multiple things as you keep doing the pattern. And as you focus on breathing. Helps you better succeed with distractions. There we go, gang. And I know we didn't spend too long with this pattern of our arms, but boy, have we been marching for a while. Shake out those arms.
That's first time. Yeah.
Very
Yes.
tiring.
Yeah. Sore on the shoulders.
Yeah, our shoulders are getting tired for sure. Now,
Yeah.
have you guys noticed an improvement in your ability, your coordination to follow with those movements?
Believe it.
Better.
Sometimes.
Not really, but
And, well, and remember, it's tough because I change it so often,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's starting to get quicker to pick up the pattern. You know, like you
Don't get us
more-
confused all the time.
Also, here's one. Make a circle with one hand. Actually, both hands. Just get your arms circling in the same direction. Now they both go in the same direction. So I'm moving both my hands clockwise. And now we're going to go counterclockwise. So change directions of the circle.
Oh, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's coming.
I know it's coming. I know it's coming.
All right.
All the feet.
So now one hand is moving clockwise and the other hand is moving counterclockwise.
Wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off. There we go. And change directions. There, that's fun.
Yeah.
So far,
And now make figure eights. See, you're all catching on pretty quick to this stuff. If we go back to a easier one, so meaning it's easier because we only have to focus on two hands moving rather than our two hands and both feet. You can tell you're kind of catching on to the movement a lot quicker. Now change direction of those figure eights. There we go.
Oh. Oh, I can't do that one.
And it's okay if it's still challenging.
I think I'm doing 80 instead of figure 8.
Yeah.
As long as you're making some sort of a squiggle line and relax those hands. There we go. Perfect. Okay, gang. So now what I'm going to get you to do is just kick forward one leg at a time. And if you want to stand and do this, if you feel really sturdy standing on one foot,
no.
then you can stand, and I want you just to lift up one leg straight out in front of you. Again, have that balance support, either the wall or your chair. This should feel sturdy, otherwise we're seated. And kick. Good. Now, what I want everyone to do is put your hands on your thighs. And I want you to feel those thigh muscles tighten as you straighten or lift one leg at a time. If you're standing, don't put both hands on your thighs. You can test out the moving one. The goal is to feel those muscles tighten under your hand as they work. Can everyone feel that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
There you go. So building some of that body awareness. When our knees straighten, we want our thigh muscles, those are your quads, to get tight, to work hard, to help us do the movement. All right, now put your hands under your thighs. And again, if you're standing, this might be something where you just hold down, or you can hold up a little bit higher. And we're gonna bend one knee at a time. And this one I want you to do a little bit slower. So if you're sitting, think about trying to touch your heel to the bottom of your chair. And you should feel the underside of your thighs tighten. Those are your hamstrings. They help us bend our knee and extend our leg behind us. So like when we walk, when you push off in your walk, your leg has to extend behind you to push off. That's where those hamstrings come in handy. So pull your heels back. Can everyone feel that?
Yep. Not much.
That's okay. Pretend you're pulling back a weight. So get your feet a little bit in front of you and pull back. Try to touch the underside of your chair. And this is where we go slow. If we're focused on just doing this and being distracted and looking off or going quick, then we're not going to feel those muscles tighten as much. I want you doing this a little bit slower. Really pull. And you should feel those muscles tighten up more so. There we go. Awesome, gang. Okay, relax there. Now, okay, actually, we're going to do one more and we're going to put all those muscles together. Okay, so now we want our glutes. Those are those bum muscles. You're all familiar with those. Now, what I want you to do here is to put your hands on the outside of your knees. You are going to tighten up your glutes, and that just means clenching your bum clenching your bum, and your hands and knees are gonna have a little bit of a battle. I want your knees pushing out and your hands resisting. Okay, so I'm gonna clench my bum, push my knees out, and my hands are just gonna battle and push my knees back in. And then we're gonna relax. Okay, so again, tighten your glutes, push your knees out, but resist it with your hands and relax. Now, if that's sore on the arms or on your hands, I encourage you just to sit there and clench your glutes. Hard, hard, hard. You'll notice your knees go out slightly and then relax. Okay, so you can do this without the hands. Just tighten those glutes. Those knees go out slightly. Hold and relax. Otherwise, I've got my hands here. Tighten, push against those hands and relax. Tighten, push against those hands. Go, go, go. And relax. We got 3 more. Tighten. Does everyone feel those glutes tightening?
Yes. No, yeah.
Good. 2 more. Tighten. Squeeze, squeeze, go, go, go. And relax. And once more. Tighten. Good. Okay, you can kind of shake out your legs. Okay, so we have actively focused on tightening our major big muscle groups in our legs. So our quads, which is the top, the hamstrings, which is the back of the leg, and our glutes. So now let's put them all together. We're going to tighten all 3 of those. And you are either, if you are staying seated, you're going to lean forward as if you're about to stand up, push your feet down on the floor and everything tightens up, and then relax. So again, leaning forward, tightening, and relax. Now, if your balance is feeling great and you want to stand, then everything tightens up and you slowly stand up. Everything is clenched. And slowly sit back down. Well done. And again. Everything tighten up. There we go. And slowly back down. Now, I sometimes get people putting their hands on their bum so that they can feel those glutes tighten up. And it sounds silly, but sometimes having that feedback of, oh, I can feel that muscle tightening up, helps you develop that sense of the muscle. It helps you have an understanding of that muscle working. There we go. So you're either standing all the way up nice and slow, or you're leaning forward, pushing your feet down into the ground, clenching everything, and then relax. Lean forward, clench everything, and relax. Lean forward, clench everything, and relax. There we go. Lean forward, clench everything, relax. Oof. Nice work, team. And I've completely lost count, but that had to be 10.
42.
Yeah, at least.
42.
That I really
My
can feel that. I can really feel that in my core, Jill.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's normal too. And that's an excellent thing. I was getting you just to focus on the legs, but getting your core, those tummy muscles to activate with any movement is awesome and really helps you with the movement. And if you think too, the more you're trying to tighten your muscles, that core is going to activate too. So well done. That's wonderful. So let's use that a little bit. If you have a weight or soup cans or water bottle, I have my trusty water bottle with me today. One, you can sneak a quick sip of water.
Yeah.
And by sneak, I mean, please drink water throughout class and before and after class. But here's what we're going to do. And again, you can do it seated or standing. So if you are seated, what you're going to do is you're going to lift up one knee opposite to the weight, and you're going to slowly press up your weight. So I want my core to tighten so that I'm not wobbling. Then I'm going to slowly lower back down. I'm going to keep the same side, up nice and slow, down nice and slow. Now, if you are standing, what you can do is stand one foot in front of the other, have your balance support, and you can just bend your knees just a little bit, and you're going to straighten up your legs as you press that weight overhead. Okay, so let's do it together, whether you're seated or standing. Up we go. And down nice and slow. I want that core tight. Once again, if you decide that standing is best for you today, once again, you have one foot in front of the other. Your knees are going to bend a little bit, and then you're going to straighten them as you press that weight up overhead, and then slowly bring it down as you bend. Breathing out to lift that weight up will be helpful. Once again, your other hand can just check out that core. Oh, is that core tightened up? Is it like someone's about to slap me in the belly? I'm braced. There we go, team. One more. There we go. And switch. You know what's a fun thing to do at home, gang? If you've got someone at home with you later, what you can do, and this will help you activate your core, is if you just sit there and cross your arms over your chest, and you get that person to gently nudge you on your shoulder and try to gently just push you side to side, and you just try to resist, and you just try to keep your body nice and still. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then if that becomes too easy, then you lift one knee. And same thing, they try to push you and you try to resist. And you'll find that actually helps you realize how to engage your core.
Yeah.
It's really great. Just make sure you breathe steadily throughout that. Don't hold your breath. Now we're switching arms, switching legs. And it's up nice and slow. That core is tight, and down nice and slow. Up nice and slow, and down. Good. Remember, it's helpful to breathe out as you lift up. And breathe in. And breathe out as you lift. And breathe in. And out. There we go, team. Nice and steady. There we go. Remember your recovery breaths, gang. If you feel like you're starting to feel breathless or short of breath, then just stop for a minute or so and do your recovery breaths. Remember, it is okay to have to breathe a little bit harder than you do when you're not exercising. But some things to look for are not being able to gain control of your breathing. You don't want to feel shaky. You don't want to feel lightheaded. And you don't want to feel like your heart is beating out of your chest or racing. So those are all signs. You just want to stop for a minute, do your recovery breathing until those things get under control again. And rest. Well done, gang. Now, we're still going to work on keeping that core tight. And I told you that fun little game that you can try about someone gently pushing you side to side as you resist. This is going to mimic that. It's about keeping your body still, but this time we're going to end up moving a weight. But I don't want you twisting. So here's how it's going to look. If you are seated, you're going to have your weight in front of you, and we're going to slowly move the weight side to side. Now, remember what I said, the moving weight is going to act like someone gently pushing you from the side, from shoulders to hips, no movement. So shoulders to hips stays completely still, and I'm just going to move that weight to the side. Now, if that feels too easy, you're going to lift one knee and hold it until I say switch. And if you are standing, then I just want you to have your knees slightly bent. And again, you're moving that weight slowly side to side, but there's no twisting. There's no movement from shoulders to hips. If I show you from the side, it's the same thing, nice and steady. There we go. Keep up your breathing. Now think about keeping that core tight as you breathe. If you've got one leg lifted, we're going to switch now. Now it can be tough to keep our core tight and breathe at the same time, gang. Has anyone felt that? It's a little bit harder to breathe, keeping our tummy tight.
Have to balance when you're lifting one leg. But so you're going to stand on one leg. Is that what you meant?
No, if you're standing, your knees are bent.
Yeah.
And you're just moving that weight side to side.
But when you say lift one leg, which leg do you lift?
Those are for those who are sitting.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, that's right. So the sitting option, if you wanted to make it more challenging without standing, then you just lift one knee. Otherwise, that knee is down. Now, remember, if you feel out of breath, get your hands on your tummy. Slowly breathe in as you move those hands out. And then slowly breathe out through pursed lips as you bring those hands back in. So your recovery breathing, slowly breathe in, move your hands out. Slowly breathe out as you bring those hands in. Nice and steady. That's going to help you gain control. Now, if you are still exercising, rest there. And we're going to do your next movement. Now, this next one, if you've got a band, you are going to put the band around your feet while seated and pull your elbows back.
Ooh.
And then straighten your arms. If you have a weight, the seated option is just to lean forward, hand on your thigh, and pull it up and down. So if I turn to the side, again, I'm leaning forward slightly, not round. Pull the weight up and down. Now, to make it more challenging, you can stand and put your hand on your chair, making sure your back isn't round, right? I can even use the top of my chair, and you're gonna pull up and down. Make sure you're breathing out as you pull up or as you just pull your elbows back, no matter what position you're in. So if you're standing, brace your hand on your chair, pull that weight up. If you're seated with a weight, you're leaning forward slightly, pull and down. And if you've got that band, it's around your feet. Pull the elbows back, slowly bring them back forward. Pull the elbows back, slowly bring them back forwards.
We sit up straight though, right?
You breathe out when you pull your arms up. You breathe out.
Yeah, so instead of being up tall, I'm just leaning forward at the hips.
Oh,
Okay.
Do you see how my back is still nice and straight? So it's not leaning forward like this,
okay.
leaning forward like this. Just that little bit. Okay, now if you're doing just one hand, now's the time to switch hands. If you've been working both hands the whole time and you're feeling a bit puffed, this is your chance to stop, do your recovery breath. So you've just been working both arms at the same time. Remember, the more limbs you work at a time, the more oxygen your body needs and the harder it is on your breathing. So well done. Rest when you need to.
Okay.
And I hope you've already all switched hands because I've completely lost track of my counting. I'm usually just a touch better than this. Not by much, just a touch.
That's funny.
Now remembering to breathe out as you pull that elbow back. Great job, team. Good, and enter into your recovery breathing when you need to. And rest. I think you all need a sip of water. How are we feeling, team?
Okay.
Good.
Good.
My hands.
Feeling with your hands is better than feeling with your feet. Hey, Terry.
You betcha.
Oh boy, even in a big crowd, your jokes sniper through. Wonderful. Okay, team. Now with that band, here's your next one. Now again, remember, the more limbs that move at a time, the more oxygen you need. So if I show an exercise with both hands working and you're struggling for air, just do one arm at a time, right? Or you can put the weights down, right? The heavier the weight, the more oxygen you need. You can use just your limbs, okay? So if you've got a band, or you cannot use a band, you're just gonna have your hands in front of you and you're going to pull the band or your hand apart. And the goal is pretend you have an orange between your shoulder blades and you're trying to squish that orange.
Oh my God.
So my chest is forward and you're trying to squish that orange. Now, that only works if you've got a light band.
Yeah.
If you've got a heavy band, put some more slack on the band and you'll notice I still haven't got my new band.
We see that.
Oh boy. So have more slack between the bands so that you can pull your hands out a bit wider, or do it without your band. Focus on trying to squeeze that orange between your shoulder blades and slowly bring it back. Remembering to breathe out through pursed lips as you do that. Now, if you're someone who has a sore neck or shoulders, then what I want you to do is keep your hands lower and don't pull out as far. And make sure it doesn't feel like a strain, because for those of you that get a sore neck or have tight neck muscles, they're immediately just going to lift up. So you have to make sure you're not trying to strain and pull too much weight, because those muscles are just going to do the work and make it sore, okay? So squish that orange between your shoulder blades and slowly relax.
I do.
Last year.
Oops, sorry, gang. That sometimes happens when a notification pops up on the screen. In this case, it was telling me, hey, you only have 20% battery left, but that's okay. That's locked. So breathing out as you pull your hands apart. And rest. That's a fun one. Now, you are going to grab
Oh.
a pillow or a rolled up towel or rolled up jacket or blanket. Something that you can put right between your knees. So I, for one, will just use a rolled up sweater. We can be creative like that. And you can also use your weight for this one, gang, to make it more challenging. Now, I'm just going to put this right between my knees.
How about if I use a ball?
Yep, even better. There you go. All right, so it's just between my knees. This is a series of 3 events. Number 1 is tighten up your glutes. Number 2, and it's all progressive, so they build on each other. Number 2 is to squeeze your knees together while keeping your glutes tight. And number 3 is to move your hands up and down. And if you have a weight, you can move that weight up and down, and then everything relaxes. So 1, tighten your glutes. 2, squeeze your knees together. And 3, press those hands and or weight up and down. And I like that some of you have adapted it so that you're only lifting up 1 weight at a time. That's great. Do what feels best for you. Challenging, yet doable. So again, tighten the glutes, squeeze those knees up, down nice and slow, and relax. You might notice you feel the kind of bottom of your core tighten up too. Tighten the glutes, squeeze the knees up, squeeze, 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 and down, and relax. Glutes, knees, up, down, relax. Glutes, knees, up, down, relax. Glutes, knees, up, relax. Glutes, knees, up as you breathe out, down and relax. We got 2 more. Glutes, squeeze, up, down, and relax. Last one. Glutes, squeeze the knees, up, and relax. Great job, gang.
Oof.
That's pretty fun.
Everything hurts.
Yeah. That's interesting though, hey? Like that's a hard exercise.
It is.
But it's a good one.
Oh, and that's a great one to practice. That is so good for strengthening your hips and your core. Brilliant, brilliant. So well done.
Awesome.
Well done. Now my stopwatch turned off, so let me just double check. Good. You've got 1 more exercise and then it's time for stretches. Because so many of you keep asking me about your arm strength. So we're going to keep working on that. So if you've got a weight, then all you're going to do is once again, lean forward. Your elbow stays up and you're just pressing your weight back behind you. Now, if you've got a band, we've done this before, you take your hands one hand reaches across or stays still, straight on, depends what feels best for your shoulder. And your other hand just pulls the band down and then slowly comes up. Pulls the band down, slowly comes up. Good. So we're working on those triceps. That's the back of the arms. Okay. Now, if you want a little bit more of a challenge, what I'm going to get you to do is to lift up your knee as you pull your arm straight. So either pulling that band down or pressing it behind you. Now go slow and steady. Think about breathing out as you move the weight or band, and tighten up that core. So important that we keep focusing on tightening up our core, making it work hard for us as we move. Great job, team. There we go. And remember, if you're using that band in front of you, it's just pulling the arm straight down and then back up. So I'm holding one arm across, pull it straight down and up. And whatever you are choosing to do, band or weight, it's time to switch arms. And I'm hearing
Did it already.
some relief groaning. So if you've got the band, it's pulling it straight down. I should have my new band by Thursday, guys. There we go. So either the band is pulling straight down or the weight has your elbow up and we're pressing our arms straight back behind you.
Where do we get a band, Jill?
You can get a band. You can either order them online and it'll come straight to your house. You can get them lots and lots of places. Walmart, Sport Check,
Winners.
Canadian Tire.
Okay.
There's often lots of fitness stores like Flamin Fitness, Rocky Mountain Fitness, though I don't know how many of those are in the mainland area. Yeah, stop there.
Dollar store.
Yeah, certain dollar stores will have equipment.
But you got to be careful because their colors don't match the colors that you used to.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Is each company usually has their own color scheme, so you don't want to buy a band for its color. They'll all also say the level of resistance. So it's often very light, medium, heavy, very heavy. And so the best thing about going into a store to try it out, as long as they're not pre-packaged, is that you can test them out. And because the ideal thing is that you would have one lighter band that's better for your arms and movements that such as pulling open the band, because that's a tough movement that uses smaller muscles, versus having a stronger band for either your legs. So if we put your leg around it and push it straight out in front of you, using your bigger arm muscles like pulling the band. So it's helpful to have a lighter band and a heavier band. Okay.
If I can say something, I bought this one. Oh, where is it? Canadian Tire. Don't buy it because they're really hard.
From Good Life Fitness.
Yeah, it's really they're these colors, right?
It comes with 3 different colors.
Yeah, the red one is the only one that I use, but it's too short. It's not long enough.
Yeah. And often, so I will say often, black and gray are heavier colors.
Mhm.
Meaning
it's
those are,
blue.
and blue, and often blue as well. Those are often bands of heavier resistance.
Yeah.
And you can also tell by the thickness of a band,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
if you've got the flat ones like Maria has, and like lots of you do, right? The flat bands, if you look at it, you can tell the thicker the band, the heavier the resistance. And Floro says Superstore has some bands too.
Yeah.
These
I would
look
have thought
like
in drugs.
Amazon.
This one I
Those
got
were from
at the
Amazon,
hospital.
Betty.
These are from Amazon and they were
Nice.
$16 for 3, light, medium, heavy. And they're
Nice.
just great. Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
and usually it comes in a bit of a variety like that
It's
too.
in a-
Right.
Yeah, it's in a nice bag and it was $16 delivered, so well
Awesome.
worth, yeah.
Yeah, so lots of options, gang, for sure. That's wonderful. So let's get some stretching in and we can keep chatting about this if you'd like, of course. So the first thing is let's pull up our elbow. Your hand is either gently pushing it back or you can wrap that arm around for a deeper stretch as long as it doesn't push your head down. And as we start to cool down, gang, focus a little bit more on your deep, steady breathing to get your heart rate back down, your breathing back under control. So that's breathing in, slow, steady, breathing out through pursed lips. And switch arms. Either pushing it straight back or wrap that arm around. While you're here, you should give yourself a pat on the back for a job super well done.
No, don't want to go get my neighbor.
And relax. So now we're gonna just push one hand down towards the floor and reach the other one up towards the ceiling. Hold and breathe. There we go, gang. Slowly switch sides. Breathe. Wow, so many questions today. Me.
Yeah.
Stretch your legs straight out in front of you. Reach towards your toes, but try to keep your back straight, so not rounding or slumping forward. Did everyone have fun today?
Yeah.
Always.
Yes.
Well, it was good.
Wonderful.
Excellent class.
Your smiling face helps.
Oh, good. And as does all of yours. And switch legs. I know I sure look forward to our classes twice a week.
So do I.
Me
Oh,
too.
Me
good.
too. Me too.
That's
We all have
wonderful.
to plan our schedule around when we exercise, but Jill.
That is true. That is true.
Awesome.
That is really true. Yeah.
You know what? That's one of the most helpful pieces of advice I've ever heard given is treat your exercise class like a doctor's appointment,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right on.
because movement is medicine.
Yeah.
And this is all helping you get stronger and fitter and feeling better. Even though it doesn't feel like that every single time.
and get us moving.
Just because if we're not here, we're usually at a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's a good excuse for sure.
I even give up lunch with the girls to keep my exercise appointments.
Oh, wow. Good work.
And it feels good to do that too.
Here's something to put it in perspective. I'm envious that you guys have the ability to talk and ask questions during these exercises because I don't. So if that makes you feel grateful.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, for sure it does. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You don't yet, Ron.
Yeah.
Yet.
No, I wish I could.
Now, what I want you to think of, because we always got to figure out, I've got my leg back behind me, by the way, guys, just stretched in front of my hip. We've always got to find ways for you to evaluate how you're doing.
Oh, I
So-
know how to do it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. So here's some things to think about. The one thing to think about is how much energy you have left after class. So think about the very first exercise class you did compared to today and Thursday. So that's usually one of the signs. As soon as you start getting a little bit less tired, that could be a sign that you've been improving. How many rests do you need to take in a class? How long are you able to go until you need a rest? Those are all signs of improvement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? It's not all about, oh, I can either do the whole class as hard as I can, switch legs, or I can't. No. There's lots in between, lots of improvement. So you just really got to think to yourself and reflect and go, well, what improvements have I noticed?
Yeah. No, just when you're on a Better Breathers exercise program and everybody's chattering and able to talk and you don't hear any coughing or heavy breathing, it just
Yeah.
makes. If you're at the lowest class in the lung breathers course, you kind of think your lungs aren't that good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I appreciate it that you do tailor it for everybody. I do.
Of course.
That's
And Ron, it sounds like some people in your other class aren't working hard enough.
oh, is that right?
If
And
you
also,
can talk through the whole class, you aren't working hard enough.
Is that right?
Or you're in
And
good
also-
shape.
and also just for making a plan to come to the class is a big effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, actually showing up, that's an effort.
Bill, I
Yeah.
went for a breathing test last Thursday. That's why I couldn't attend here. And she
Yep.
told me that my breathing test from 5 years ago was better this time than it was 5 years ago.
Wow.
Good for you.
That
That's
is
awesome.
good. And I told her about me doing these exercises class. And I'm also with Kelly on the Better Breathers, which we do a lot of breathing there. So I feel so good and thank you.
That's
Thanks.
awesome.
That's really good.
great.
That's good.
Good. And
Really
you know,
good.
Nick, having your breathing test improve or maintain
Yeah.
is great.
And I didn't even have to change my poppers or nothing. I'm on the rescue and Inspialto once a day, and that's it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Nice
Yeah.
work.
Wow.
Thought I would share that with you. And
Yeah,
Thank you very
thank you.
much.
I
and
have to go.
you to your
Yes,
class.
you gotta go. That's okay.
Yeah, I
We
have
can-
an appointment. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
That's okay.
one.
thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Jim.
Wonderful.
Joe, thank you very much.
Oh,
Yes,
you're so welcome.
Thank
See you Thursday.